Hi everyone, thank you for joining our today's session. We start today's seminar, How to Sell Sake at Non-Japanese Restaurants and Hotels by Mr. Hugo Xavier Tuiza. So please start.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Welcome to everybody to this second session. And today, as you said, Anna, something very interesting because I will tell you the way to promote Japanese sake in a non-Japanese restaurant, so in America and Europe, and how the sommelier can promote Japanese sake. I will tell you all my keys and how I start to promote sake, by which way to promote sake, and of course the pairing. So everything is important. It will be a very interesting session, I think, for you, and I propose you to start now if you want. Perfect. Let's go. So this month it's Japanese sake in restaurants. The menu of today, because we are in a restaurant, so we speak with the menu. How to buy Japanese sake. This is the first important moment for a sommelier. The price of Japanese sake, costs and selling price. Another interesting part. The service in restaurants. How we use the glassware and how we use the different possibilities to serve Japanese sake. Of course, one of the most important, the pairing with cuisine. So it will be an important moment for all of them, because we will speak about all the kind of sake we can produce with a different promotion. And after, of course, the promotion of Japanese sake in the rest of the hotel, so outside a restaurant. First of all, and this is probably one of the most interesting parts for all the brewer and all the professional, how to buy Japanese sake, how we can buy Japanese sake. Of course, the first thing is to propose in your house, in your restaurants, a fairly complete list of sake with different style of Japanese sake that will illustrate the production. So not only Junmai, not only Ginjo, Daiginjo, it's important to promote all the style of sake. So it's a combination between traditional style, so the Kimoto Yamahai, and the modern style, the Ginjo, Daiginjo style. We have to buy both to have a clear and authentic sake list. And of course, to buy Japanese sake, it depends on the taste of the consumer and especially the experience of the buyer. It's important when we buy Japanese sake to have, like I said, a storytelling, something to tell to the guests. So, for example, speak about the producer, speak about the area. So when the brewery sell the Japanese sake, they have to sell their knowledges. They have to sell the terroir of Japanese sake, the terroir of the brewery. It is very important. And for us, after, it's easy to sell to the guest if we have a story to tell. It's here a suggestion of a sake list that we can find in a restaurant. I suggest to you one Junmai Ginjo Daiginjo, so something fresh and pure and modern style. One Junmai with a Seimai Buai at 70% or 80%, so less polished to have intense flavor. So it's another face of Japanese sake. One Kimoto for the tradition, for the history, Kimoto or Yamahai, of course. One sparkling and one koshu. This is for me the 5 main Japanese sake you have to put on your list. Sometimes, and I can say every time, I see on the restaurants only the first one. Only here the Junmai Ginjo Daiginjo. So we have 6 or 7 Junmai Daiginjo, but no more. I think it's a mistake because it's difficult to promote 7 Daiginjo in the same restaurant. For me, we have to promote all the different type of sake because of different moments to taste Japanese sake. For the starter, of course, the Ginjo Daiginjo. For the Kimoto, it's important to promote with the main course, the Koshu with the cheese, for example, or desserts, the sparkling for the aperitif. So that's why I suggest this kind of wine, of sake list, sorry. After to buy Japanese sake, it's important to respect the seasonality. Be careful because the season must be played. Spring, summer, we want to buy some modern style because we have the freshness in this style. And at the opposite, in autumn and winter, it's important to promote and to sell the more traditional style to serve cold or why not cold, but and to serve warm also. So it's important to respect the season because we have different products, because the cuisine depending on the season and of the products, of course. So for me, it's important to speak with the chef. For example, in autumn, cuisine with mushroom, with earthy flavors. So important to serve a Yamahai or a Kimoto. And at the opposite, at spring or summer, something more fresh because outside it's hot and in the plate we have more vegetables from spring or summer. So it's important to change the style of sake. The purchase amount. Japanese sake, it's difficult to keep Japanese sake in the time. So don't buy too much at once. I mean, my recommendation is here to buy maximum 6 bottles of Japanese sake per style and per kura. Because it's interesting to be able to run your stock quickly. For example, I prefer buy several times 6 bottles than one times 24 bottles. Like that, I'm more, I can say, relaxed in my stock. I know I have only 6 bottles, so no chance to have an oxidative taste or to sell for a long time. But if I have 24 bottles in one time in my restaurant, it's a big difficult because I have 24 bottles per kura and per reference. So it's a bit too much. So important to keep a short stock, but buy more several times. So very important. After the method of preservation, Japanese sake, it's very different to compare to wine because you need a very cold temperature. In my restaurant, in my Hôtel de Crillon, I keep all my sake in a refrigerator at 5 degrees, 5 to 6, 7 degrees, no more, absolutely no more. So this is the first part important. Don't keep your Japanese sake in the cellar with wine, for example, because wine we keep at 13 degrees, but it's too much for Japanese sake. However, the Koshu and certain Kimoto and Yamahai, I take them out of the fridge at the beginning of the service to offer to my guests, my customer, a temperature of 15, 18. So on the night, I keep my Kimoto Yamahai in the fridge, but when I start the service for the lunch and for the dinner, at the beginning of the service, I put my bottle outside the fridge to have a better temperature for this kind of sake. Of course, for the rest, for the modern style, I keep in the fridge all the time during the service also. and it's right at 15, 18 degrees. We have a better appreciation of this kind of sake, this traditional method Japanese sake. It's better to taste at this temperature. After, once opened, I recommend to preserve them by the vin. You can see here on the picture, the vin. This is something very interesting for us because we use that for the wine. So here, and this is like a pump, like that. So you can open your Japanese sake, serve 1, 2, or 3 glasses, and after you pump like that to put outside oxygen. So like that, we have no oxygen in the bottle after. So it's very, very interesting. And like that, we can preserve the bottle during a maximum of 5 days. For me, it's important. I want to preserve the maximum of freshness in the Japanese sake. Of course, for a Kimoto, Yamaha, Ikushū, I can preserve more than 1 week, but I want for my rotation and to push my sommelier to sell to say 5 days maximum for the preservation of the fresh flavors of Japanese sake. So very important. It's vin system here. It's very occidental. We find that in France, in US, in Europe, and this is for me important to work with this method, with this system in your restaurants. Like that, you lose nothing. But pay attention. Be careful because sometimes there is some Japanese sake to purchase can be difficult in France. For example, I speak about the Namazake. Namazake, it's a bit dangerous because it's a non-pasteurized sake. And when they travel, when they take boats or when they take plane, we lose freshness with the transport, I'm sure. For example, I never taste a better Namazake outside in Japan. For me, in Japan, this is the best place to taste Namazake because I have the freshness. It's more pure, more direct, more mineral, more Nama. But if I taste a Namazake in Europe, in France, or I tasted another one in US, it's good, but it's not the same thing. We lose a bit of freshness. So in my opinion, just my opinion, I think Namazake, it's a specific sake for the domestic market. It's a bit dangerous to promote Namazake outside. And in addition, their potential is 6 months maximum potential to keep, but which leave us a short time to sell because when they arrive in France, it takes times because between the Kura and between my restaurant in France for a Namazake, sometimes it takes 1 month, 1 month and a half, it depends, or maybe 2 months. So I have only 4 months to sell Namazake. It's too short. And I think it's too complex also to the person who imports sake, except if he have some immediate guests, of course. But we can speak about that after if you want, and if you have some question with Namazake and export market and of Namazake, we can speak together with that, of course. The price. The price, I think it will be a long discussion together today because the price of premium sake is maybe too expensive in France. Of course, we have many work, but to compare the Japanese price and the French price is very difficult. I explain. Indeed, no price is studied for the export market. This is the same price for the domestic market and for the French market. This is very difficult to imagine for them here in France. As a result, some sake arrived in France at nearly €50 without tax, and it's difficult for us to sell big quantities. We must create a professional export price for breweries that allow us to buy more. Beware of the competition at this price. When I have a sake at 50 euro without tax on a list in my to buy in my restaurant, I know this sake, and I know this sake are available in Japan at 50% less the price, or maybe sometimes 70%, 80%, and I find many times 2 times less expensive between Japan market and French market. So it's a bit difficult because we have the competition between with a high price with Burgundy, with Bordeaux, which is approximately at the same price, and in a retail market, in a retail shop or in a restaurant for the same price, so high price, French people choose Burgundy or Bordeaux, but they don't choose Japanese sake because it's too expensive. They want to taste Japanese sake, but at the end, it's a bit too expensive. They don't imagine this price for Japanese sake. I continue. For example, I take the example of champagne. It's perfect because a bottle of Ruinart, for example, costs around 35 euro worldwide in a shop. So in Paris, in New York, in Singapore, in Tokyo. So it's a bit it's a bit complex for us to have different prices. Champagne propose a unique price, approximately a unique price for all around the world. This is very smart. The prices are not the same for everyone. For the sake, for the champagne, to have this price, for example, Paris pays more because the transport is less important. For the export market, the price approximately for the wine and champagne, it's less 30%, and it's supplied to be able to absorb the cost of importation, transport, and tax. This is important to have a low price to absorb cost of importation, transport, and tax. Very important to keep in mind. In the end, the retail price is the same throughout the world, which makes it possible to sell more volume. So this is very important. If you have a uniform price, it's really better to increase the selling of Japanese sake. And I trust in that because I think this is one of the most important thing to know. But I know also in Japan we have a long tradition of price, of unique price. Now in 2020, it's important to change that and to adapt the market and the selling price markets all around the world. On average, a Japanese sake is more than 2-3 times more expensive in France than in Japan. For this price, so to 35 to 60, the competition is very strong with the great wine of Burgundy, Bordeaux, Champagne, as I said. And for the same amount of money, the consumer must be reassured, of course. To advance these sales, Japanese sake must therefore cost less. And at the opposite, the selling price. So now I want to explain to you the backstage of a restaurant. How we do to propose a price to the guest in a restaurant. What is the backstage to think about the price in a restaurant? And like that, you will interesting why I ask export price market. Finally, I want to sell more Japanese sake. if I want to sell more Japanese, I have to make less margin on sake than on wine. Because the price is expensive, but I want to sell more sake, so I decrease my price of sake by the glass. I have to lower my selling prices at a restaurant to make it accessible. If I don't do that, sake is too expensive and it's too impossible to sell compared to the wine, of course. This is my personal way, I think, my personal vision. But when my party let me do this a long time by earning less money, and my boss is not necessarily agree with me. When I talk to my boss, I lose money with sake, but it's to promote Japanese sake. It's a bad economic model in the long term. So it's not possible to continue like that. I don't know if you have some question. Sorry, I just read the question. I think we asked a question. Maybe I can ask to a question at the end. So I keep this question in my box and I can answer after. Thank you very much. But we can continue to ask questions. Let's continue here with so the backstage that I said. It is to be profitable. A restaurant or a hotel must have a beverage cost at 21% maximum. Because in a hotel we have 400 persons to work in the hotel. We have many persons, many cookers, many persons in service, many persons in room division. So many, I can say, payroll, very important. So the rule in a great hotel or in a great restaurant is to be at 21%. It means the cost of the beverage, wine or whatever, have to be at maximum 21% of the selling price. So we win 79% of the price. Okay. So for example, the number one that I should to do. If I buy a sake at 30 euro without tax the bottle, I sell a glass of 10 centiliter at 25 euro. This is a good cost, 20.5. So it's okay. This is a limit for me. So it's okay. But as you can see, it's too expensive. So in my opinion, and that's why I do in the Hotel de Crillon, the second thing, the same bottle, 30 euro with a tax, still a glass of 10 centiliter, but I sold it at 15 euro the glass. The cost is bad, 24%. The cost is bad, but I sell more. But my boss is not happy because the cost is very bad. So the idea with a better price is to decrease my price. So for the same price, 30 euro, you can see here, I have to sell 25 euro. It's too expensive. So I can sell just a touch of sake, but not every day. With 15 euro per glass here, I can sell more sake every day. So I think you understand that, but that's why I ask for to study a price for export markets. I finish with a bad question of price. Again, so sorry, but I think it was important to speak about the price of Japanese sake. Now we can go in a restaurant in the way of promotion. Is France the best country for Nihonshu? Sorry for the other countries, but it's my that's my presentation. Restaurant, and I'm sure of that, is the best place to speak about sake in France. Sommeliers have the power to evangelize sake on their customers at the restaurant. So this is important to keep in your mind that the Japanese sake with a sommelier, it's a good combination because this is the first step for people to taste Japanese sake. But to sell Japanese sake, we have to speak about the right sales speech. So despite your efforts, our customer must constantly to be told what Japanese sake really is, because there is more confusion between a distillation of rice like in China and brewing of sake of a rice like in Japan. So sometimes people don't understand. Here it's a most effective sales and introductory speech to situate sake in beverage world. So this is my own sentence. I said to my guest, first of all, sake is a rice beer that can be enjoyed like a wine. I say again, it's a fermented drink halfway between beer and wine. In the fermentation process, we change smudge in sugar and sugar in alcohol, but at the same time, but it's approximately like a beer. So it's important to keep this frontier. Where wines fails in pairing with cooking, sake succeeds. So this is another sentence very important to promote Japanese sake. That it's not a competition with wine. It's just something more to I can say to go with the food very complex with the wine, for the soup, for eggs. We know with albumin it's very complex with eggs, with bitterness, with acidity, with earthy flavors. Wine sometimes it's not totally succeed. So Japanese sake is very important for that. And with these sentences, it's a matter to putting the consumer in a position of trust and curiosity. When we talk about that, after it's really easy. Of course, and you know that, but I go very fast for that, but because you already know, in the way of promotion, important to speak about the temperature. It's unique in the world because we can serve sake from 5 degrees to 50 degrees. And if we speak about the Misore sake, it's 0 degrees. So it's absolutely unique. So it's important to the sommelier to tell about that. However, for me, the limit temperature in a restaurant, it's 37 degrees. Hito Hada Kan. For me, this is a maximum because at this temperature, we have more sweetness in mouth, more intense flavors, but we keep the right flavors of Japanese sake. If we go at Nurukan and Atsukan, it's too hot, we have too much alcohol, and we lose the identity of Japanese sake. So for me, it's 37 maximum. Be careful of that. I speak with a professional observers. After a glassware in a restaurant, I think it's important to have different style of service, and why not to use the wine service code. For example, for the cold temperature, your glasses and decanter in a restaurant, wine glasses. Consider the Ginjo style sake and all the modern sake has a Sauvignon Blanc in terms of service and temperature. The carafe, the decanter, is also very interesting to open sake and to propose a very good experience of service. I remember it was a good experience with one of my best guests in the Hotel de Crillon. We have in the 3 first appetizer, so iodine, vegetables, and soup. In these 3 courses, 2 wines, 2 beverages. The first was Chateau Aubryon in white, so one of the most famous Bordeaux white wine, very expensive. And in front of him, we had the sake Kokuryu Ishidaya. Ishidaya, one of the greatest sake, of course, in Japan. And I decant together because Oxygen with this sake is very interesting because we have more flavors, but we keep in ice, in the ice bucket, but in a decanter. And for me, after maybe like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the face of the sake totally changed. So the Oxygen is very important. And for me, it's a good opportunity to serve Japanese sake in a decanter because we have the curiosity of the guest, and it's very good for the sake. At the opposite, we have the warm service. You use an hot choco and a tokuri. So as I said, 37 degrees maximum. I use this service sometimes with preparation with foie gras, which is very smooth and hot foie gras. And I use this way of service in autumn or in winter. It's better to have the sensation of sweetness and more complex flavors, more earthy flavors. And I like this kind of service because we show to the guests all the knowledges in glassware of Japan. So it's very important also. And it's another good experience. But not for the modern style. I prefer serve the warm sake for the traditional style, or a seimai buai very high. For example, a junmai at seimai buai 70%, 80%, or a kimoto or a yamahai. I think it's very important to serve for me a ginjo dai ginjo in an ochoko and a tokuri in a restaurant. It's not necessary, I think. We continue with one of the best parts, of course. I know it's time for the dinner, so these few slides will be very interesting for you. And we will speak about the French cuisine and Nihonshu. How to promote the different kind of sake, different types of sake with Nihonshu. It's very important because we have many possibilities, because Nihonshu, it's very large world, and French cuisine, it's also a large world. Let's look together. So we will put in action all type of sake with gastronomy to give you solutions and mode of promotions of sake in a restaurant situation. Let's go. First of all, for the sparkling sake, so half of the cuisine, I suggest you stage them as an aperitif with a crunchy vegetable, marinated vinegar, often work in pickles. Because as you know, vinegar, it's impossible to match with a wine. This is one of the best enemy of wine, the vinegar. So that's why Japanese sake is important. And with the texture of pickles, when we very crack, we have the bubbles of Japanese sake or sparkling sake to make a fantastic combination. We can speak about something fresh and elegant like an awazake, for example. After, for the onjozo in Daiginjo Ginjo, I recommend to the side of its great freshness to make it resonate in the mouth with dishes without too much power. So all the Ginjo Daiginjo sake issued to onjozo method are delicate, elegant, with a touch of powerful sweetness. But I can say, so for the dish without too much power, as rather refreshing, like the iodine, the shellfish, or a wonderful summer recipe like that. the picture, it's a raw old tomatoes, cream of mozzarella, and watermelon gazpacho. One of the best summer proposition here, summary, very I can say maybe holidays spirit here in August or July. We can make also with onjozo, daiginjo ginjo, and heko, a vegetal heko, with a beautiful green asparagus, with a velvety mint and peas. I love this combination of freshness for the spring way of consumption of onjozo. I recommend the daiginjo ginjo at 8 to 10 degrees temperature to preserve the freshness, but it depends the house. After, we can say it's always difficult to say, but I can say the category king or queen, the Junmai Ginjo, Junmai Daiginjo, the queen and the king. Among the most noble products staged from this great sake, I propose a tartare of langoustine and caviar, very delicate, and caviar au siètre. It's the creamy aspect of the tartare of langoustine, balanced with energized by iodine and caviar. And it's absolutely remarkable. I ever taste this dish, and it's absolutely fantastic with the perfect combination with Junmai Daiginjo, Junmai Ginjo. Especially for the water, very soft like Fushimi or Yamagata. But we have to preserve the fresh water, not only these two parts, but specifically the most pure Junmai Daiginjo, Junmai Ginjo. Let's not forget the famous white fish, also to be a part of the French table. I'm thinking in particular to the generous melting flesh of the bar and turbot, a bit more structure because for the Junmai, we have this sensation more, I can say, a touch of earthy flavors because it's the Junmai way. But don't forget the bar and the turbot, which is one of the best white fish for French gastronomy, French cuisine. After the Junmai and Tokubetsu Junmai, sometimes the Senmai buai here is between 60, 65, 70, 75, 80% Senmai buai. So to combine this power and beautiful intensity of Junmai and Tokubetsu, I recommend to stepping up the level of dishes in terms of texture with maybe a lamb's lettuce, a finely spiced blue lobster with Madras curry, which is on the photo. The curry Madras is very spicy but delicate, and it's important to make a combination with the flavors of a Junmai shu. It's remarkable, more simply than a blue lobster with a Madras curry. I can suggest you a Lebanese hummus. So if you want to see the Middle East market, the Lebanese hummus, it's fantastic, a good combination, and a very traditional, perfect egg cooked at low temperature, caviar and velvety watercress. It's also a good combination because when we can say the œuf parfait, so it's a perfect egg. We have all the texture of albumin of eggs, but very complex to match with the wine. So here, the Junmai shu is a perfect way because of these more intense flavors, more rich flavors. Not also, that's a good condition with a high temperature of the soup. It's very interesting because with the soup, we can blow up the temperature of, can increase the temperature of Junmai shu because it's possible to go to 30 degrees or not only 30, but just to go to the room temperature. It will be also very interesting. Not too warm, but just a room temperature with the soup, it's perfect. Also speak about the Taru Sake. Taru Sake, in case of the cedar breeding, this passage in contact with this raw wood bring a well-identified aromatic of cedar and remarkable tactile aspect in mouth, which give it volume, intensity, and persistence. In fact, we can compare Taro Sake sometimes with a way of white wine of Burgundy. We can consider it like that. Aged in a barrel has a regard its ability to pair with gastronomy and with this fantastic volaille, the chicken white meat with a creamy sauce, mushroom, the seasonal mushroom, and why not a black truffle. But it's important to keep the creamy sauce because with the Taro Sake we have intense flavors, and we love to pair with the French cuisine with this delicate chicken with creamy sauce and mushroom. So it's absolutely fantastic. For me, probably one of the best pairing in emotion with a great tradition of Burgundy and of France, of course. We speak about tradition, we can continue with the Kimoto and Yamahai pairing. So Kimoto warm to 37 degrees will bring a beautiful sweetness while preserving these original aromas, and serve it in contact with foie gras with a broth with horseradish and fermented avocado. The temperature agreement between the bouillon, the soup, and the warm sake, it's a great combination for me. It's an alliance to try absolutely. Both in mouth are so beautiful because we have the earthy flavors of a Kimoto way. We have like topinambour flavors, and when it's hot, it's absolutely fantastic with a sweetness in mouth, with a volume, with a texture of foie gras cooked like that. It's absolutely fantastic. You can see the foie gras just here on the plate, and it's so delicate, so smooth, and with a Kimoto or Yamahai hot, 37 degrees, in the same time in mouth, both are absolutely fantastic. Of course, the koshu. The koshu is important, so we have different possibilities for the koshu. I choose today the dessert. A major of pairing for me, very interesting and very interspecific way to highlight the koshu is to make it resonate with the famous Mont Blanc dessert with a chestnut cream that will create a perfect aromatic echo. But it depends the koshu, but usually we have these flavors of chestnut or marron, we can say la crème de marron here with Mont Blanc. And in Japan, Mont Blanc is very famous, and I invite you to taste a whole koshu with a Mont Blanc together in mouth. It's absolutely fantastic. I prefer to tell you it's important to have a sweetness in mouth for the Mont Blanc. At the opposite of the second pairing, the chocolate tart, bitter chocolate, will be interesting with koshu, but rolled but dry. Dry koshu to make a great pairing with the bitterness of chocolate in a tactile sensation in palate. For me, it's an unforgettable moment to live, and also one of my favorite pairing. So it's simple, but it's a real identity of combination between Japanese sake and French cuisine. So you have to try both, please. The Nigori sake. So Nigori will allow us to conclude a meal with a milk dessert, like a nice vanilla or milk rice. You can say in French maybe a riz au lait with vanilla, but also to be able to taste a beautiful, like the picture, peach and apricot meringue pavlova. It's absolutely fantastic with the Nigori sake to create the great emotion between Nigori. We know to keep the fresh balance with the sugar of the meringue. Also, be careful on Nigori sake. So it's important for me just to tell you a few words on the Nigori making and the Nigori perception in France. I prefer to tell you French for the moment. French people don't understand Nigori sake. It's a bit difficult because they think they drink a glass of milk. The appearance by the sight, it's a bit strange for them. I know that. I can understand that. The taste is a bit milky, and the French people don't necessarily understand immediately Nigori sake. So I think it takes time to see Nigori sake grow up in France. But it's important to know. I would like to tell you and to speak with you with the others experiences that you can you can teach Japanese sake to your guests, something very educative. Because I think in a restaurant you have to be like a school. Now person go in a restaurant, the guests and customer go in a restaurant to eat and to drink, but also to have an experience, to learn something new, and to learn and to be surprised. This is very important. So this is the following experiences I do in the Hôtel de Crillon on the past years. The first, this is a cheese experience. You have to choose a cow milk cheese. Here it's a Lyell, but also with a Beaufort, a Cantal, a Comté. I think you have Comté cheese in Japan, and it's easy to find. Comté cheese, maybe like you can say 24 months or 18 months, okay? And you bring that in front of the guests. There is 3 glasses. The first, it's a yellow wine, le vin jaune from Jura in France. The second is Japanese sake, it's a koshu. And the last one is a Reres Amontillado. There is, between all these 3, a common point. The name is the Sotolon. The Sotolon, this is the name of the taste of oxidative wine. But it's absolutely fantastic. And here we have 3 Sotolon expression, 3 Sotolon style. And I serve to my guests in a blind tasting the 3 glasses. And after 3 minutes, 4 minutes, so the guests try the cheese with all the 3 beverages. And I said to the guests, sir or madam, there is 1 glasses between these 3 that is made based with a rice, not a grape. And they say, it's impossible. I feel the grape, I feel the wine in these 3. I say, no, there is 1, this is a sake. And this is a big surprise. So after I show the right Japanese sake, and it's still a great experience, a great moment to taste in a blind tasting these 3 bottles. So something to learn, something to try in Japan. In all the Kuramoto are here, and all the professionals of restaurants here. You have to try this experience at home and after to your guests. And I have a second experience. This is the oyster experience. In the same way, approximately, in the Hôtel de Crillon, we have an oyster bar. So a place where we can have a seat and eat many oysters. And I propose the experience between 3 famous beverages for the guests. First, it's a muscadet. Muscadet, this is in France, a famous 1 grape vineyard with the grape Melon de Bourgogne, or muscadet. But it's at the north west of France, close to the Atlantic Ocean. So we have in this wine the salty flavors, very interesting. We have here the champagne Amour de Deutz, or a champagne Blanc de Blanc. 100% of Chardonnay, very clean, very pure. And the Japanese sake, here a Junmai Daiginjo style, modern style, pure and elegant Japanese sake. And when I serve, we have for the two first, the wine, white wine muscadet and the champagne, we have a combination aromatic of flavors between the flavors of the wine and flavors of the oyster. So together, it's interesting and it's good for the sapidity of the both blend. And after we have the sake, we propose just to exhaust flavors and to increase flavors of oyster. There is no confrontation, I can say, between the flavors of the sake and the oyster, but just sake go down and put in a high level the oyster. And both are fantastic. And sometimes I can say maybe at 70% of times the person talk to me, I prefer the match with Japanese sake because it's a real combination and it's a more tactile sensation because we feel the rock in the Japanese sake, we feel the rock of the river, and when we drink a sake like we drink a water of river, it's absolutely fantastic to make great pairing with oyster. So this kind of sake I promote. Of course, except a restaurant, we have the possibilities to promote Japanese sake with different ways outside the restaurant in a hotel. In a hotel, we have the bar with a cocktail, with a ginjo, with a sparkling, and with junmai. So we have 3 ways of promotion here. When you use the ginjo, it's maybe for something fresh, delicate. It's an aperitif cocktail, very delicate. Sometimes I love to promote with a green peas or green flavors or mint or something like that. The sparkling sake, for me it's important to promote the sparkling sake maybe instead of champagne, for the champagne cocktail. So instead of we put a touch of sparkling, or with the sometimes we top some cocktail with a sparkling water. We can go instead of to top with a sparkling sake. It's very important to preserve the good balance. And after the junmai, so junmai shu like with a high semi-buai. So why not a kimoto or a Japanese sake at semi-buai 80-70%? With to consider this like I can say like sorry, with a vermouth. So it's instead of a vermouth for maybe the dry martini, we put the gin, and instead of the vermouth, we had the ginjo, the junmai or the kimoto. Very important because we have like that a great combination and something really new, of course. So we have different possibilities to promote sake in a bar. And after, the other possibilities is just in a room service, make it accessible in a reception room to create a real surprise. And think about the 1st October, because this is a real story to tell, to say this is the new year of Japanese sake, the 1st of October. So we have to promote in the rooms for amenities in a room the Japanese sake with a masu, and maybe to have a little explanation in English or in French or whatever to explain what is a masu, how we taste Japanese sake in this masu, and the important way of learning and to teach sake with a great moment when you arrived in your room. For example, here, this is a Ritz-Carlton of Osaka, but I saw a great hotel in USA. You do the same thing. So it's very important, and it's a good stimulation for the 1st of October in your hotel. This is the end of the presentation. I hope you learn a lot. Now we can start the second part of the seminar. This is also a question. We receive with Sakeist many questions during your registration. Sorry, you have the possibility to ask me some questions, and I have here many questions here. So here I have 7 questions, so I can ask to this 7 first question, and after I go to the chat, and we can speak together with the chat to see if you have more questions. First question: would you like to tell me a specific taste of sake? For the beginner, it's important to say there is no specific taste of sake because we have too much possibilities of and different types of sake. The Junmai, the Junmai Daiginjo, the Onjozo, the Sparkling, the Nigori, the Koshu, so the Tarozake. So it's impossible to have one taste of sake. But if I want to tell you and to answer to your question, the specific taste of sake, this is a taste of the story, the identity of this beverage, a taste of fermentation, no alcohol. If we find alcohol at the nose or at the mouth, there is a problem in the process. And I say, and I know it's very difficult to don't have alcohol, but this is the main rules of a taste, specific taste of a Japanese sake. No alcohol in the nose and no alcohol in mouth. Keep it clear and keep it clean in the process. This is the most important. Second question: what is the most important point of education for sommelier in liquor stores? For me, to read the label. So, for example, to understand what is a Seimai-Buai. So, to learn to write the label in English or in French or Italian. It depends the country where you sell your sake, but adapt the language to the country and the capacity to know what is a Junmai, what is an Onjozo, what means Daiginjo, what means Nigori and Koshu. So for me, yes, in a liquor store, you have to read if it's a Junmai or not, fermentation or distillation, and the Seimai-Buai, so the level of polishing ratio. Strategies for restaurant bar owner who want to pair sake with local dish. Food sake clash with. I think to promote the sake for the restaurant and the bar owners, you have to keep your local food. It's absolutely important. So don't prepare a Japanese food. It's not necessary because the guests want to eat the local food, the local dishes. And after the Japanese sake make a good pairing. I think you saw before in my presentation of all the kind of texture. It's easy, and more you stay local in the food, more the pairing is interesting. I can say also for some sake, Junmai, Kimoto, Yamahai, the ham, like a ramen from Spain, is very interesting, like the pelota, for example. 3 samples, the way to get first-time sake customer to try sake. It's an idea, but for me, I think it's not a good idea because when you are a guest, when you are in a restaurant, you and me, as a guest, as a customer, if I pay the sake, I pay attention to my tasting because I pay the sake. If I don't pay the sake, I can say I don't pay attention because it's a present. Okay, thank you, but thank you. But I think the customer have to pay the sake, and this is the job of the sommelier to promote this beverage, to sell this beverage. So for the first time, I can answer. The sommelier have to say, trust me, it's a new experience and it will be an unforgettable experience for you. So never get something free in a restaurant, except if there is a problem. But without that, never try something free, because for the next time, you don't want to pay. If it was free the last time, why I pay now? You understand? So if you pay every time, it's okay because it's normal. So be careful of that. What would you say as a sommelier that sake is superior to wine? I say it's a big mistake to think like that, because it's not real. I promote Japanese sake at the same level of wine. Sake is a friend of wine, and they go together in a restaurant and in the world of fermentation beverage. And if we want to say sake is superior to wine, you close the door. Close the door. Because sommeliers don't respect you, because you don't respect the wine. So I think it's important to say, as I said before, Japanese sake is very important, very interesting with the French cuisine, like the wine. Both together go in the same way. And it's not a concurrence because it's not the same beverage. It's a different story, but both wine and sake have a terroir, and this is the most important thing. So I never say sake it's separate to wine. I don't like this idea. The key point to promote sales of sake, I think you saw that before in my presentation, and I think now you understand more. But yeah, first of all, tell to the guest it's not a distillation beverage, but it's a fermented beverage. So you have to explain what is Japanese sake very quickly and very fast, in a fast way. So yeah, of course, it will be easier after to say, but this is the first step. The first step is to explain what is sake, and after it's easy. How do you get the Sake Samurai recognition? And did you know that Mexico is making Mexican sake? I didn't know Mexico make Mexican sake, and I'm really happy to read that, and very interesting to taste this Mexican sake. I know there is sake all around the world from few decades now, and Sake Samurai. It's a recognition. I don't ask something. It's a recognition by the profession, by the professional of sake, the Association of Brewer. But I don't ask nothing. They propose to you, and it's a great mission to evangelize Japanese sake. So I'm so happy of that, of course. And I go to the chat. If you have now more questions on the chat. Tracy, you asked me a question. Did you think that there will be increased pressure on the price of sake as consumers start during the pandemic? Yes, of course. To drink more at home and can easily grasp the difference of price quoted in a shop, online shop versus the restaurants. I never mind the price difference. It's a good question, Tracy. The main difference so I'm really happy if people taste sake at home. I can, to be honest with you, say this is the main goal in the future. And it's for me a very good goal, because I speak about restaurants to be the first step of promotion of sake. People can learn sake in a restaurant, but after, I'm so happy in the retail shop sells sake, we win. We win because it will be the volume, and people compare wine and sake so they can buy a bottle of sake to bring at home, but it's fantastic for me. Of course, in a restaurant, the price isn't the same because there is a sommelier, there is a glassware specific, there is knowledges for the sommelier, and this is, of course, the way of service, the explanation, the storytelling, many things to have a great moment in the first space, in a great space, and with a great dishes and cuisine. So, of course, the price is different, of course. But I'm so happy if the retail shop sell more and more sake. This is, I can say, my main objective in few years, of course. So thank you, Tracy, for this great question. I continue. Sorry. So I have a question here. Do you think that local sake production, Wakaze, L'Arme du Levant, helps to promote imported Japanese sake? So Wakaze and L'Arme du Levant, it's a brewery in France. So Wakaze, we have Japan and in France, close to Paris. And L'Arme du Levant, it's in Le Pilat, Montagne du Pilat, close to Condrieu, in the Rhône Valley, so département de la Loire. I think, yes, it's a fantastic way of promotion. And I think, yes, it helps to promote imported Japanese sake because the public start with the French sake. What is a French sake? An idea of French sake. And after, they want to taste the original Japanese sake. So it's a second step. So to start, it's fantastic, and the produce of L'Arme du Levant are fantastic. I love this sake. But it's like the Chardonnay, or the Merlot, the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Chardonnay. We have a great Chardonnay in US, in Italy, all around the world, I can say, but a specific in a Russian River Valley in USA. It's a great Chardonnay. But the taste, the original taste of place of Chardonnay, Burgundy, is very different. It's authentic, I can say. So we can start with L'Arme du Levant to have a good idea of sake, great making, great knowledges, and after taste the original taste of Japanese sake with the Japanese water, with Japanese rice, with Japanese knowledges. So for me, the main thing with Shan, this is the terroir of water. So this is the signature of Japanese sake. So yes, it's a good doors to promotion of Japanese sake. Interesting that French don't get nigori. Yes, it seems to be very popular in the US. Yes, in the US it's popular more than in France. I think this is first of all the aspect, appearance, maybe why, I don't know why, but to tell you the story, the second year when I organized a Kuramaster competition in France, so it's the French competition of Japanese sake, I included a category of nigori, and I will be a part of the judge of nigori, and all my colleagues, judge, said, wow, it's very strange, and I don't want to taste because just the appearance I don't like. So I understand in my mind, okay, French are not ready for that. But yes, maybe after, because US market is an old market for Japanese sake, and I think we just need time in reality. Junmai Tokubetsu slide. What do you mean by good condition? Let's go together to see that. Good condition, good condition. I don't see what you mean. Oui, so not also that a good condition with a high temperature. Good condition, I mean, it's also a good way of testing the high temperature, because Junmai and Tokubetsu, of course, we taste very fresh or room temperature, but it's also a good temperature of service. That's why, I mean, condition, it's the balance between the kind of sake and the pleasure you have. This is what I mean by condition. I hope I asked to your question. Sorry. So it's okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Mr. Miyagawa, I would like to taste in your restaurant. Thank you. Is there also potential to building on the story and or the regionality of sake by using artisan ceramic? Yes. Of course. Because with the ceramic, you have a story to tell, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's easy and cheap to get mass produced. Yes, of course, it's different. But I love this specific ceramic with the idea of regional knowledges. I love that because it's a part of the promotion of Japanese sake, of course, and it's a good storytelling. You have to talk about the price. It's a barrier, yeah, of course. I agree with you. So we spoke about that. The price of sake is high in the EU market, not because wholesale price, but your regulation. Yes, of course. The European Union regulation is very strong because after 50 degrees of alcohol, 15, the tax is very expensive. So now we have there is a signature between Japan and France for the regulation, but it's a small percentage. But yes, I know this is European Union. We give many tax, so this is a problem. So we have to work and to find new solution, of course. Does buying only 6 work through wholesalers importer will often insist on those quantity? Yes, it depends. I know some importers insist to a minimum quantity, but I think you have to negotiate with them to say, I want to buy, to make a reservation of 36 bottles, 48 bottles, but in a reservation in your store, and I buy 6 to 6, 6 by 6. So it's a deal between you and the importer. And if you don't want, you change the importer. It's easy. So minimum of 12. 12, I think it's possible, but it's a strict maximum because in my own experience, it can be complex because 6 by 6 is so easy for the team. It's more interesting, and for the quality of sake, I prefer that. But after you have to negotiate. And I think this is the end of all your questions. If you have more, I'm here for you. I think it's clear for everybody. If I don't ask to everybody, please tell me. I'm here, and I just want to speak with you about the next session of seminar. Next topics. It will be on March 20, Honkaku Shochu and Awamori. Very interesting. We change the world. We go in the world of spirit, and it will be very, very interesting. And after, in April, 29th April, it will be Awazake and sparkling sake. So the world of the bubbles. So at the end of April. So I will be very able to be with you and to prepare this seminar for you. And if you have any question to me for these next topics, or maybe the seminar of today, you can write at contact@sakeist.com. Anna will bring me as a question, and I can write the answer maybe for the next session. So please don't hesitate, and we keep many surprises for you after Sakeist. So thank you very much. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Xavier-san. And still, online send a question to you. How successful have the 2 wine, 1 sake pairings?
I see. Sorry. Yeah. How successful have the 2 wine, 1 sake pairing been? Are they popular? Yes, of course. It's so popular. So to continue with that, this experience of cheese and oyster, I sell it approximately 30 euro. It's 3 times 7 centiliter, and it's really successful because people absolutely like the experience. And when they come back in the restaurants, they ask the same for their friend. So it's yes, very popular. So it was it's a great experience because we continue when the restaurant in France reopen. Now from now they don't open, so we wait that. But yeah, good success. So we are waiting for you for the next session of Onkaku Shochu and Awamori, and after Awasake Sparkling Sake in April. And one more, I think, one more question. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. It's okay for me. So if you have questions, don't forget contact@sakeist.com.
Thank you, Xavier-san, and thank you for everyone for joining today again. So you have still questions for today's
Just arigato. Just arigato. Thank you. Thank you. Minato Moto-san. Thank you. Thank you so much.
If there's any more question for today, we are going to close.
Thank you, Denis. Thank you very much. Denis Dolphy, he's a part of Kuramaster from the beginning. So thank you, Denis, for all your help. And thank you so much to be here today.
For me, it was very interesting for this topic, and especially the price.
Yeah. So now we can see, you can see what the brewery imagine, because it's just my suggestion, and I say it's a big problem for everybody. So yeah, I think now it's between the end of the Kuramoto to study that together or individually, whatever, but it's important to study because the world change, the market change, and if they want to conquest all the world, they have to change the philosophy of price and think about different prices. The segmentation.
Yes, the price is more easy to access. I think sake will be more internationalized, and the more people will taste sake in the world.
Of course, this is the main barrier.
Yes.
Today, the main barrier. After that, if we have a good price, it's win for the sake. Thank you so much. So contact@sakeist.com for more questions.
Thank you very much for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. See you in the next month with Honkaku Shochu, Awamori, and after for the Awazaki and Smarting Sake. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.